Hey everybody, welcome to Pop Culture Philosophers. I'm Rockin Robbie Billups, and it's time for the weekly pop culture wrap-up. That's right, everybody. Welcome to Pop Culture Philosophers. Time for the weekly pop culture wrap-up. It's the show where I go over the week's pop culture news, mostly comic books and movies. Not a lot of news, but let's get right into it with some comic book news. First of all, Batman and the Outsiders, the new upcoming book by Bryan Hill, has been delayed. It's been canceled, but not completely canceled. It's going to be coming back at some point in 2019. At the earliest, they say, is going to be March 2019. Bryan Hill took to Twitter to talk about the delay himself. He said nothing to worry about. There are just some more pieces in the DC universe that got to be set into place. A lot of people are speculating that this has some Cassandra Cain type references. That this means something to do with her character, getting to her to a certain point. Maybe Katana. Who knows? That being said, I've really been looking forward to Bryan Hill's Outsiders book. Super looking forward to it, in fact. Bryan Hill just did American Carnage over at Vertigo this week. Blew me away. A fantastic comic book. Batman and the Outsiders was set up in his brief run over at Detective Comics earlier this year in the summer. I'm really looking forward to this book, but it does seem like the earliest we're going to see it is going to be March 2019, unfortunately. So that's some sad news. Some other sad news is Red Rabbit. Dead Rabbit. Not Red Rabbit. What's Red Rabbit? Maybe Dead Rabbit will become Red Rabbit. Dead Rabbit, the comic book from Image Comics, written by Gary Duggan with artwork by John McCree. I've been really high on that book right now. Really liked issue 1, really liked issue 2. Well, both of those books have been a mandatory recall from Diamond Comics. There is some kind of trademark situation going on with a bar in New York called the Dead Rabbit. Apparently the Dead Rabbit is based on the name came from like an old New York Irish gang or something like that. There's a bar called Dead Rabbit. The bar has like pulp hero type, like a pulp hero type shtick to it. Anyway, they filled in like the trademark thing, copyright, whatever. Dead Rabbit has been pulled from shelves. All solicitations have been canceled. I am certain that the book will return, possibly with a different name, like we were talking about earlier. Maybe Red Rabbit. But I've been really liking Dead Rabbit. So, of course, since the recall, as you can expect, tons of copies have hit eBay and other online sources that have been going from like 40 to 60 bucks as far as I'm aware. Maybe a little bit less now, maybe a little bit more. But Dead Rabbit, if you got a number 1 and 2, you might want to think about selling them, or you might just want to think about holding on to them. Dead Rabbit was something really cool. Neat little crime/superhero type story for adults. Really cool stuff. Unfortunately, I don't know what the future of that one is. Avengers, War of the Vampires. This got solicited for February coming out. Just wanted to spotlight this because Blade's awesome. Blade's going to be a factor in the Avengers books, at least in the first half of 2019. Very excited for that. I'm a huge fan of Blade. Have been a fan of Blade since the Spider-Man animated series in the 90s introduced me to the character. Then I got into Tomb of Dracula by Marv Wolfman. Gene Colan, Marv Wolfman, by the way, is going to be at the Huntsville Comic and Pop Culture Expo in March of 2019, right around the time, hopefully, we'll be getting that Batman and the Outsiders book. Super excited to meet Marv Wolfman, creator, co-creator of one of my absolute favorite characters, Blade. Blade showing up in the Avengers, spotlighting the vampires, and Dracula appearing. Super pumped. Jason Aaron, you're making me happy. Copperhead has been delayed. It's an Image Comics created by Jay Farber, amongst others. Really like this book. Really been talking about it. It's a sci-fi western. Really nifty stuff. If you haven't read it, it's a great time to catch up. The book's only got 3 issues left, but those 3 issues have been canceled and will be solicited at a later date. Basically the same type situation as Batman and the Outsiders. Copperhead is a great sci-fi western from writer Jay Farber and Image Comics. I'll throw some links down to the 3 trade paperbacks that are out right now. Fantastic book. Definitely want to get into it. But it's going to be wrapping up soon, sometime in 2019, but they're definitely going to wait till they can get it right, they say. That's the word. And some real sad, some news today about comic book cancelizations and delays, things like that. Sideways has been canceled. We've been following these New Age of Heroes comics from DC since they started earlier in this year. We've already lost a few of them. We were anticipating losing some more. Sideways was one that definitely had some traction. A lot of fans of Rocketfort's artwork, a lot of fans of the new character. The character, of course, is now DC canon. He will totally be appearing, but the book is going to be canceled and over with the final issue, number 13, which I believe debuts in February. Finally, let's talk about some movie news. The new Lion King trailer is out. It's amazing. It's like a shot-for-shot remake in realistic, ultra-realistic computer-generated art. Really like it. Love the trailer. It's directed by Jon Favreau, who directed Iron Man. He directed The Jungle Book. One of my favorite crime movies made was directed by Jon Favreau. Plus, of course, he wrote Swingers. Two great movies, Swingers and Made. You should totally check them out if you haven't already. In fact, I'll throw links down below so you can check those out as well. But anyway, I really like this Lion King trailer. Thought it was cool. Love James Earl Jones coming back as the voice of Mufasa. That's so awesome. That is so amazing. One thing, though, it's kind of irksome, just a little bit. Stop calling this as live. People are calling this a live-action remake. I think we need to stop doing this. This is totally not a live-action remake. This is computer-generated animation. It's not hand-drawn animation, but it's still an animated film. Anyway, that's what I think. So that's what I got for you guys this week. That's what we want to talk about. Let me know any comments you have about any of what I talked about or anything I didn't in the comments down below. Thank you guys so much for checking out the video. What we got coming up here at PCP tonight. Robbie Rants Live. Back to our regularly scheduled time. Sunday night, 7 o'clock Central Time. In the PM, of course. 7 o'clock PM Central Time tonight. Robbie Rants Live every Sunday night, talking to you guys about this upcoming week's comic books, doing a little bit of show and tell with some of the toys that we got here in the studio, just having a good, fun time. Share a beer with me. Join us tonight, 7 o'clock PM Central Time. Don't forget, also, we got the weekly comic book review coming late Tuesday night, early Wednesday morning. Comics Revisited returns this Thursday with Venom, Separation Anxiety. It's the last Venom Comics Revisited for a good long while. After that, we're going to jump into some Aquaman and Miles Morales stuff. Very excited for the future of Comics Revisited. And as promised, there will be a top 5 favorite Superman villains coming up from Robbie's top 5. That will debut maybe at some point this week. I hope to get it out this week. Hopefully it's already out now. Probably not. Hopefully it'll be out soon. Anyway, that's what we got coming up here at Pop Culture Philosophers. Thank you guys so much for liking, sharing, and subscribing. And be sure to join us over at Twitter at ThePCP Show. You can follow me personally on Twitter at Rockin Robbie. So thank you guys so much for rocking with us. Keep on pop culturing, living, loving, umbrellas, all that jazz, and more. Deuces.